Hello everyone, thank you so much for joining me today for this yoga practice. Let's begin in a comfortable seated position. Close down the eyes and we'll begin to tune into our natural breath here. Begin to focus on the inhales and the exhales, deepening with each breath. Notice where your sit bones touch the floor and make this connection to the earth, feeling rooted and grounded to start today's practice. Place the hands on the knees, tuck the chin, and find a curve in the spine, cat pose. Pull the heart forward for cow pose. Flow through these two poses at your own pace, finding fluidity in the spine and warming up the body. As you finish up the final round, come to center and feel your spine tall. Plant the left hand down beside you, right hand comes overhead, and look up to that hand. Side body stretch. Breathe into this space. Plant the right hand down beside you, left hand comes overhead, breathing into the side body, looking up at that hand above you. Breathe. And come back down to center. Make your way into a child's pose. Stretch the hands out wide in front of you. Feel the hips heavy as they rest into the feet. Grounding in here. And reach the right hand up to the sky, opening the chest, bringing that hand underneath you and twisting to the left. Breathing in, finding expansion here. Once that side feels complete, open up the right hand, unwinding, and return to center briefly. Left hand opens up to the sky. Thread the needle underneath the right arm. Breathing into your side body here. Opening up. Focus on your breath. And once you feel complete, you can unwind. Left hand reaches to the sky and returns back to center into your child's pose. Shift the weight forward, finding whatever movements in the spine feel good to you. Maybe a cat-cow. Then tuck the toes, hips come up into your downward facing dog. Make any adjustments that feel good to you in this position. Right foot rises, three-legged dog. Bend the knee, open up the hip. Breathe into the hips here. Left heel comes down, press into the hands, and shift the weight forward. Plant the right foot in between the hands. Lower down that back left knee, untuck the toes, and reach up for a low lunge. Opening the heart in front of you. Bring the hands down and begin to reach back to grab that left foot as you bend into the left knee for a quad stretch. Breathe here. Begin to release the foot. Allow it to come gently to the ground. Hands find the earth. Pull the heart forward. Tuck the back left toe. And rise back into your three-legged dog, opening up the hip. Feet come down, downward facing dog. Bring the heels to the earth. Root in here. Shift the weight forward to plank pose. Lower down to the earth. Hands come to find the hips. Upward facing dog. Roll over the back toes, downward facing dog. Really press into the hands here. Left leg rises. Open up that hip. Breathe into the hip here. Plant the left foot in between the hands. Untuck those back toes. Hands rise, heart faces forward. Maybe clasp the thumbs above you. Finding an opening in the front body. Bring the hands down. Right hand finds that right foot as the right knee bends. Quad stretch. Breathe into the hips here. Begin to let go of that foot. Plant the hands to frame the front foot. Tuck those back right toes. And lift the leg all the way up to three-legged dog. Open the knee. And plant both feet down, pressing into the heels of the feet. Shift forward into plank pose and move through your vinyasa. Meeting in downward facing dog. Come high on the toes, right leg rises. Bend the knee, step between the hands. Come all the way up to Crescent Lunge. Heart is forward. Hips face forward. Finding strength in this pose. Bring the hands down through heart center. Left hand places to the earth. Right hand opens rise for a twist. Breathe in here. Hand comes back to find the earth and step the left foot forward, forward folds. Halfway lift, forward folds. All the way up, reach up, mountain pose. Hands come down to heart center. Reach up again, finding an opening and fold towards the earth. Step back into plank pose. Shift the weight forward, bend at the elbows, and lower all the way down. Hands find the hips, upward facing dog. Roll over the back toes, downward dog. Left leg rises. Bend at the knee, plant the foot in between the hands, and rise into your crescent lunge. Finding strength here. Allowing the breath to open the body, feeling the heart shine forward. Hands come to heart center. Right hand comes to the earth, left hand opens up to the sky. Look up at the left hand. And left hand comes down to the earth. Reach the hands up high and forward fold. Halfway lift. Plant the hands and fold. Come all the way up, hands up, and pull the hands through the heart center. Hands up again, reach for the sky, and fold down to the earth. Halfway lift, plant the hands, step back, plank pose. Find strength here as you shift the weight forward. Come down to the earth and move through your vinyasa. Meeting in downward facing dog. Right foot to the sky, bend the knee, coming into your pigeon pose. So right foot comes to the left wrist. Left leg long out behind you. Open the heart and find length in the front body here. And once you feel ready, you can fold over that front leg. Go a little bit deeper into this position. Breathing into the hips. Begin to come up. Shift onto the right hip. Cross the left foot over the right thigh. Left foot plants on the earth. And twist to the left. Begin to unwind. Left ankle plants on the right knee. Right ankle underneath the left knee, coming into fire log pose. Keeping the spine tall, or folding over if that feels comfortable and accessible to you to go a little bit deeper into the stretch. Feeling a release in the outer hips here. Begin to come up, reach the heart forward. Unwind the legs, press up into downward facing dog. Come up on the toes, press the heels down. Just find a little motion in this position here. Left leg rises. And coming into pigeon pose on the opposite side. Right leg lengthens, untucking the toes, reaching the heart up to find a stretch in the hips. And once that feels good, you can fold over that front leg. Breathe into the hips here. Just focus on your breath. Rise. Bring that right leg all the way over to the left side of the left thigh, planting the right foot firmly on the earth. Hooking the left elbow over the right knee and twisting to the right side. Right hand is behind you on the earth. Breathe deeply into the twist. Begin to unwind as you face forward, coming into fire log pose. So right ankle is over the left knee and left ankle is under the right knee. Find alignment first in the spine facing forward. And if it feels accessible and comfortable to you, feel free to fold over the legs here for a deeper stretch in the hips. Remembering to breathe here. On the next breath in, begin to rise up. Right leg unwinds back behind you. Left toes meet the right toes. Hips come up into downward facing dog. Finding a little movement here, maybe coming up on the toes and pressing into the heels. Shift the weight forward, plank pose. Bend at the elbows, come all the way down to the earth. Press up to up dog and roll over the toes to downward facing dog. Right leg rises up, bend at the knee. Circle that right knee around, finding some fluidity. And as you circle again, plant that right foot to the right side of your right hand, coming into a lizard lunge. Find strength here. One long line of energy from the heel of your foot all the way to the crown of your head. Untuck the toes and lower down that back left knee. You can come onto the forearms if you would like a deeper stretch in this position here, but of course you can always stay up if that feels better for your body. Come back up onto the hands if you came down, and reach that right arm back to grab the left foot, coming into a quad stretch here. Breathe deeply. And release that foot. Right hand comes back to meet the left hand. Lift that back left knee. Let's find some fluidity. Maybe lengthen that right leg. Bend into it. And shift back and forward a few times. When you're ready, come back into downward facing dog. Shift forward into plank pose. And move through your vinyasa. We'll meet in downward facing dog. Left leg rises, bending at the knee, finding a circular motion in the hip here. And on the second circle, plant that left foot to the left side of the left hand, coming into lizard lunge. One long line of energy from the heel of the right foot all the way to the crown of the head. Breathe in here deeply. And if it feels good for you, you can lower down to the forearms, untuck the toes, and lower down that back right knee. Finding a deeper stretch in lizard lunge. Come back up to the palms of the hands. Heart faces forward. Left hand reaches back for that right foot, bending at the right knee for a quad stretch. Release the foot. Left hand comes back to meet the right hand. Once again, finding that fluid motion. Shift the hips back and forth, lengthening that left leg, bringing a little more motion into the hips. Left leg comes up to three-legged dog, downward facing dog. Shift the weight forward and move through your vinyasa, meeting in downward facing dog. Lower down the knees and come back into child's pose. Finding some heaviness in the hips here. As we begin to slow down our practice, feel a sense of connection with the earth beneath you. Stretch the fingertips wide. Right hand comes over to the left hand. Breathe into the side body here. Hands come forward, reaching those fingertips and coming over to the right hand side of your body, finding a side body stretch here on the other side. Breathe in deeply. Come back to center. Find alignment here. Begin to rise up, coming into a seated position. Hands on the knees, just feeling really centered and grounded here. Plant the left hand to the earth beside you. Right hand comes up, reaching over. Right hand comes down to the earth to the right side of you. Left hand comes up, reaching over. Both hands come down beside you. Left hand comes behind you for a twist, looking over that left shoulder. Breathe in deeply. Unwind. Right hand comes behind you. Left hand comes onto that right knee, aiming to look over that right shoulder. And unwind here, sitting up tall, bringing both feet together, coming into a butterfly pose, bringing the heart forward and folding. Raise the torso up tall. Bring the feet out long. Flex the feet. Point the toes. Flex the feet. Hands come up overhead and fold over the legs. Finding a stretch in the back of the legs here. Being sure to keep the spine long. Crown of the head is forward. Spine comes up, lengthen the torso. Hands come underneath the legs as you lower your back body onto the ground. Knees are up towards the ceiling. And prepare for bridge pose. Lift the hips up to the sky. Feeling lengthening through the front body. Breathing deeply here. Releasing your shoulders from your ears. Lower the hips down to the earth. Windshield wiper the knees back and forth. First to the left side and over to the right. Prepare for bridge pose once again. Lift the hips up. Pressing into all four corners of the feet. Finding stability here. And lower the hips back down to the earth. Windshield wiper the legs side to side once again. Bringing some movement into the hips. Coming back to center. Lengthen the right leg out long, tuck the left knee into the chest. Bring the left knee over to the right side of the body for a supine twist. Arms come out wide to a T and gaze over that left shoulder. Begin to unwind here. Left knee comes into the chest, give it a squeeze. And lengthen the left leg out long. Right knee comes into the chest, giving it a squeeze. And twisting the right leg over the left for a supine twist on the other side. Arms come out to a T and gaze over out towards that right hand for a little bit of a deeper stretch here. You can place that left hand on top of the right knee. Unwind, right knee comes into the chest, giving it a squeeze. Right leg extends out long. Bring the soles of the feet into touch, placing the hands on the thighs here. Just feeling an opening in the hips in stillness. Allowing any final bits of tension to dissolve and melt into the earth beneath you. Bring both knees into the chest for one final squeeze. Lift the neck, coming into a ball. And reach the legs out long for your final resting pose of Shavasana. Making any final adjustments that feel good so you can fully and deeply relax in this position. Shavasana. Take a deep breath in to come back and let it go. Another deep breath in, let it go. Begin to find some movement in the fingers, in the toes, in the wrists, in the ankles. Bring the hands overhead for a full body stretch. And in your own time, come on up to a comfortable seated position. Closing down the eyes, feeling the sit bones on the earth, feeling yourself rooted, grounded, and full of gratitude. Sweep the hands up overhead and pull them to the heart center. One more deep breath in here. Release the hands from the heart. Begin to open the eyes. And thank you so much for practicing with me today.